This video is some examples of section 7.1. So for this video, we have problem number 5 from 7.1. So it says solve the system by the method of substitution. If there is no solution, enter no solution. So what we want to do here is look at both equations and see if there is a variable that we can isolate. So for example, for this equation, I'm going to solve for x. So I'm going to have negative x is equal to, I'm going to add 5, 6 on both sides, 5, 6y minus 4. Then I'm going to divide by negative 1. So my new equation is going to be x equals negative 5, 6y plus 4. So what I can do now is, since I know that x is equal to this on the right side, I can take the second equation, which I'm going to write in blue, 6x plus 5y is equal to negative 6. So anywhere I see an x, I'm going to replace it with what I got when I solved for x. So 5, 6y plus 4 plus 5y equals negative 6. So now I just need to solve for y. So 6, if we distribute it into the parentheses, we get 6 times negative 5, 6y is going to be negative 5y plus 24 plus 5y equals negative 6. So negative 5y plus 5y is going to give me 0. So I'm left with 24 is equal to negative 6. And as you can see, 24 is not equal to negative 6. So that means that we're going to have no solution since they're not equal to each other. If it was equal to each other, then we would say that there's many solutions. But in this example, we would have no solution. Example number 6, given the amount of annual interest is earned from a total of $15,000 invested in 2 funds, paying simple interest, write and solve a system of equations to find the amount invested at each given rate. So here they tell us that we have 2 accounts. One is paying a rate of 2%, and the other is a rate of 5%. So this is my second account. So I'm going to call my second account B, and I'm going to call this first account A. So what we know so far is that if we add our first account A plus our second account B, then we invested a total of $15,000. So our goal is to figure out how much did we put in A and how much did we put in B. They also tell us that the rate for account A is 2% and the rate for account B is 5%. And at the end of the year, we made $570. So to figure out the interest, since account A is being, the rate is 2%, we can change that to a decimal and write it as 0.2 times the account A will give us how much we have for that account. And then for B, the interest rate was 5%, so I can write it as 0.05 times B. And at the end of the year, we made $570. So let me just write that in a different color. Make it red. So $570, and this was $15,000. So if you prefer not to work with decimals, then you can get rid of the decimal by multiplying the entire equation by 100. Since there's 2 decimals, we would multiply by 100. If you had 0.1 decimal, then it would be 10, and so on. So 100 times 0.02 is going to be 2a. And 100 times 0.05 would be 5b. And 100 times 570 is going to be, so 570 times 100, we add 2 zeros at the end. So we're going to get 57,000. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite my equations down here. So our first equation was A plus B is equal to 15,000. And then our second equation is now 2A plus 5B, and that's equal to 57,000. Now we can use elimination or addition. And so what I'm going to use is the elimination addition method instead of substitution. So negative 2 times A is negative 2A. Negative 2 times B is negative 2B. And negative 2 times 15 is negative 30,000. The second equation will just remain as is. And so now we can add both equations. So negative 2A plus 2A is 0. Negative 2B plus 5B is going to be 3B. And 57,000 minus 30,000 will be 27,000. Divide by 3. So B is going to be 9,000. Okay, so in account B, from the 15,000, we took 9,000. So now we need to back substitute and find out what A is. So I'm going to use that first equation. Since I know what B is, I can substitute my B. And so here I'm going to get A is equal to 6,000. So at 2%, I would write in here 6,000, and then 9%, 9,000. Okay, problem number 13. Solve the system algebraically or graphically. If there's no solution, enter no solution. So I'm going to go ahead and use substitution. So for my first equation here, I'm going to solve for x. So we have xy minus 1 is equal to 0. So I'm going to add 1 on both sides. So now I have xy is equal to 1 divided by y. So I get x is equal to 1 over y. Okay, so now that I know what x is, I'm going to substitute it in for my x's. So I'm going to have 3 times x, which is 1 over y, minus 9y plus 26 equals 0. Simplify this. 3 times 1 over y is 3y equals 0. So to solve for y here, since I have a fraction with y as my denominator, I'm going to get rid of that by multiplying everything by y. So y times 3 over y is going to just be 3. Y times negative 9 will be negative 9y squared. And y times 26 would be plus 26y is equal to 0. So as you can see here, this is a quadratic. I'm just rewriting it. So you can try to factor, or you can use a quadratic formula. I'm going to go ahead and use the quadratic formula. Recall that the quadratic formula is now negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. In this case, we're solving for y, so this is a y. Okay, so I'm going to substitute my values here. B is 26. So 26 squared minus 4 times a, which is negative 9, times c, which is 3, divided by 2 times negative 9. So we end up with negative 26 plus or minus the square root. 26 squared is 676. And negative 4 times negative 9 is positive 36 times 3 is 108. And this is all divided by negative 18. So 108 plus 676 is 784. Divided by negative 18. So the square root of 784 is 28. So we get negative 26 plus or minus 28 divided by negative 18. So we get negative 26 plus or minus 28 divided by 18. So I get two answers here. One is y equals negative 26 plus 28 divided by negative 18. And the other is negative 26 minus 28 divided by negative 18. So 26 plus 28 is negative 26 plus 28 is 2 over negative 18. If I reduce, it would be negative 1/9. And 26 plus 28 is 54 divided by negative 18 is positive 3. So here my y's are y is equal to negative 1/9 and y is equal to 3. So what we want to do next is substitute it back into one of the equations. So you can put it in here, or even into this one. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. So we know that x is equal to 1 over y. So for this first y, I get x is equal to 1 over negative 1/9. So we have 1 divided by negative 1/9, which is the same as 1 times negative 9. So x is negative 9. And the second equation, we get x is equal to 1 over y, which is 3. So my solutions here are when x is 1/3, then y was 3. And when x is negative 9, then y was negative 1/8. So to enter your solution, it says to enter the smaller x value first. So negative 9 is our smaller x value, so we would enter negative 9 and negative 1/9. And then we have the 1/3 and the 3. Explain your choice of method. So we would say something like, for me, I use substitution, and I believe that substitution in this case is a lot faster than any of the other methods. So you would write in your own explanation.